Bronson Pinchot grew up in South Pasadena, California, with his two brothers, sister, and mother. His father abandoned them, and his mother was left alone to support her family as a cleaning lady. Bronson grew up overweight and unpopular, and next to his mother and his books, he learned early on to become his own best friend.
I experienced a lot of pain growing up, and I used to think it was because we were poor and because I was terribly overweight and didn't have a dad and didn't know where food was coming from. But I think now that that isn't true. I mean, those things were true, but I don't think that was the reason I was sad. I think I was sad because I was just what I still am, which is sensitive, and if you're sensitive, life makes you sad, and that's all there is to it.
Are you still in touch with that little boy that's still...
Oh, yeah, because that little boy wants to be somebody else. It gives me great pleasure. I mean, like sexual pleasure to, like, change and just be completely different. And I think, you know, it grooms you to enjoy that if you are unhappy, if you feel really vulnerable, you know, and unwanted by the world. It makes you really happy to jump into another persona.
You kind of felt that way, unwanted by the world?
Yeah, I did. I mean, you know, kids at school used to say, "You're ugly," and just they, you know, you say that to a little innocent kid, and it's like, I guess it makes you kind of hurt, but yeah. And I was smart, you know, I was smarter than the other kids at school and all that, and bad at sports and all that, and so, yeah.
Because you were smart, were the teachers on your side?
No.
They weren't?
Some of them were. A lot of them were just, you know, sort of, I think, mediocre people who didn't want to deal with it. I spent most of junior high standing outside the classroom because the teacher would say, "Now, here's this," and I'd say, "Well, I just read in National Geographic that information has been superseded," and they'd say, "You get out." And I would just stand outside the class for the rest of it. It was stupid. I mean, I think... I stopped going to school. When I was in high school, I used to go 2 days a week. I would send the work in. I got straight A's, but I wouldn't go to class. I'd have a headache every day. My mother would write a note.
When did you change into the person that you are now? Was it college when things started to turn around for you?
Probably, but in my mind, it's not changing. It's just the other thing falling away. It's like the curtains opening. And I knew I still like the same things. When I was a little kid, I ran for treasurer of 3rd grade, and the girl that came home with me to help me make the posters went running back to school and said, "Bronson has pictures of naked people in his bedroom," because I had pictures of Greek statues, and I still have a huge library of books on ancient Greek art. I mean, it's one of my favorite things. You know, I was in 3rd grade, 9 years old. I mean, it's the same stuff. It's just that the part that keeps you from enjoying it falls away.
Your mother was a big influence on you.
Yeah, she was. I think the most incredible thing that she ever gave me was she really believed in a not at all syrupy, but a true self-sacrifice. I mean, I used to want to be a painter, and I won all sorts of awards when I was in my teens for painting and drawing, and she knew I was going to accomplish something as an artist, and so she particularly sacrificed stuff for me because she knew I was going to go and have an effect on other people, and I knew that she knew, and it was amazing.
What about your dad? Do you have a relationship with your dad?
No, I don't.
None at all? No. Why is that?
It's almost like if I wanted to invest that time in spending time with a how old? He's 73 now. I mean, I feel like I should go find some really wonderful 73-year-old man that's sitting in a senior citizen's home and make friends with him. I mean, why should I do? I mean, my biological father, I don't have anything. No.
You're 29 now. You're about to turn 30. Birthday's May
20th.
May 20th, that's right. Do you have a relationship that you think will lead to something serious?
No, I don't. I went on a girl diet about a year ago because up until then I was like, you see somebody nice, you're working on a project, you see them nice, you tweak them, you pinch them, you laugh, you go out to dinner, you fall into bed, and then 6 weeks over it's later. And I finally decided about a year ago that I didn't want to do that anymore because the torture of like having somebody look at you 6 weeks later and say, what was I, like a Florodora doll? It just wasn't good anymore. And 3 different psychics who didn't exchange notes described this amazing woman that I was going to meet in the summer of '89 and marry, and she was going to make my life complete. And I got it into my head that I wanted to be pure for her. So Decided to stop catting around.
What does this girl look like?
Well,
How do they describe
if I
her?
tell you,
Yes.
then
she'll come to you. She will then arrive in the summer of '89.
No, then all of these, like, people that have nothing better to do except pick up pen and paper will write and say, I am the one, where can we meet?
But you're a human being. And an almost 30-year-old human being. You have needs, Bronson. You know what I mean?
Okay, baby.
Wait a minute. I mean...
Is that the first time it's ever happened in public
Yes.
people, private lives?
As a matter of fact, it is. My husband will love this one.
As she puts herself back together.
Now, Bronson, we're talking about other kinds of needs, too. We're talking about, you know, human needs and things.
What are you trying to do, make me miserable?
Yes.
Look, summer of '89 isn't that far away.
I know it.
what she looks like. I know what she sounds like. I know where she is.
But what if
No, I
she's
don't know where she
busy?
is.
I mean,
no, but
we
this is
could
the
help-
funny thing. Hey, you know what? Busy doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned. You just have to have that eye contact and that little phone number. Busy does. Come on, frankly.
Yeah.
All the good ones are taken anyway, aren't they? Aren't they?
That's what everybody
Aren't
says.
they?
No, that's not true. That's
But
not
most
true.
of the good ones are either taken or hope to be I don't know. Come on. There's no such thing anymore. You have that eye contact, you have that little number on the napkin, you get the call. You do.
But what if she isn't in the same restaurant with the napkin? Bronson, I want to help you. I'm here to help. Just give me, is she tall? Is she short? Is she, you know, what?
She's very flexible. She has a good hip rotation.
Oh, Bronson, you're trouble. You are big trouble now. We're going to have to fix this.
Am I sweating?
With all of this
That's
talk, she'll be afraid to put her number on the napkin, maybe.
No, it's always worked out. It's always worked out. Look, I'm fine, you know? I'm really fine. Woo, baby.
Quite a conversation here. Would you like that to happen, though? Let's say that she did walk through the door. Would you like for that to happen? Would you like to have a relationship?
I would, yeah, but
Are you ready for a relationship?
I'm ready for my match, but there aren't many of them growing on trees. I mean, people it's funny when women like come on to me, a lot of times they think that the thing to do to be sexy is to like crack 500 jokes or something and like bump into things.
When you go home, you enjoy other kinds of intellectual pursuits.
I mean, my idea of complete and total bliss is listening to the first act of Marriage of Figaro, skipping the middle two acts and listening to the fourth act and starting all over again. I mean, there's just not too many of them floating on trees that also have, you know, fairly nice bodies and stuff.
I'm sure there are more than a few ladies out there that will fit Bronson's bill. But the funny thing is, when I asked him if he was just a late bloomer, he told me that was why he named his corporation Tortoise and Hare, he being the tortoise. And with all his accolades so far, Bronson still feels he hasn't even started yet.